Hello, my name is Mariana Perez, and I'm going to be talking about computer privacy. Computer technicians and objectionable files on company or personal computers. Under what circumstances it is either permissible or required for a computer technician repairing a computer to report the contents of a file, such as child pornography. In some circumstances, it is permissible for a computer technician to report the contents of a file. One of the most important points of the ACM Code of Ethics is to respect the privacy of others. It will be ethical to use personal information gathered for a specific purpose used for other purposes without the consent of the individuals if there are obvious evidence for the violation of the law, which in this case is child pornography related information. It is the morality of the technician what will enforce him to report any information found in the computer. If computer technicians are required to do any type of job such as repairing computers by replacing hard drive or cleaning viruses, they will respect the personal information and will not open files that do not have to do with the job they are required to do at the time. In this case, if there is no obvious evidence, it is unethical to check any other information such as music, which obviously is not a matter that could involve the security of others compared to terrorist or pornography. The law. IT workers helping combat child pornography on the Internet. At least 10 states of the country have established laws requiring computer technicians or information technology workers to report child pornography if they encounter it during their jobs. The laws require technicians to report any evidence of unlawful information. On the other hand, the laws don't require technicians or service providers to search for illegal material, only to report it if they find it. Similar laws apply to film developers who encounter child pornography on the job. For example, Michigan law provides confidentiality and immunity from civil liability for computer technicians who report child pornography encountered in the scope of their work. Critics charge that this type of law unfairly transfers law enforcement's duty to individuals who may not be qualified to handle evidence or determine what constitutes child pornography. For example, in Ohio, a man was found with more than 900 images of child pornography, including pictures of naked boys, after bringing his personal laptop to a store to be repaired. The employee informed him that he will be required to report any illegal activity he found on the computer to law enforcement officials. That led the customer to leave the store with the laptop after he said he needed to transfer some lyrics to a disk drive before bringing it back in. After finding the images, the store employees notified state police and they seized the computer. The man was held in county prison and has not been still released. Technicians reporting child pornography is the action being reviewed for ethical consequences. It requires computer technicians to alert law enforcement officials if they find child pornography on a client's computer, according to a release from the Illinois State Police, which includes serious sexual assaults on young children, child abuse, etc. The actor in this subject will be the computer technician whose actions will be subject to ethical test, and the victim, on the other hand, will be the owner of the computer with the illegal information. Now I'm going to talk about the Code of Ethics. The code consists of 24 statements of personal responsibility. It contains many issues professionals, such as technicians, are likely to face in their everyday job. It is divided in 4 sections. The first section describes fundamentals, ethical considerations, while Section 2 addresses additional considerations of professional conduct. Statements in Section 3 pertain more specifically to individuals who have a leadership role. Principles involving compliance with this code are given in the last section. The code shall be supplemented by a set of guidelines, which provide explanation to assist members in dealing with the various issues contained in the code. The code and its supplemented guidance are intended to serve as a basis for ethical decision-making in the conduct of professional work, as well as judging the merit of a formal complaint pertaining to violation of professional ethical standards. The most important requirement is the commitment to ethical professional conduct. What's ethical about this point? To use personal information gathered for a specific purpose, used for other purposes without the consent of the individuals, unless there are obvious evidence for the violation of the law. The technician will have his own ethical principles, and that will enforce him to report any information found in that computer. Section 1.8 of the ACM Code of Ethics relates to ethical. Honesty is a key word in this statement. The principle of honesty extends to issues of confidentiality of information whenever one has made an explicit promise to honor confidentiality, or implicitly when private information not directly related to the performance of one's duties have become available. The ethical concern is to respect all obligations of confidentiality to employers, clients, and users unless discharged from such obligations by requirements of the law or other principles of this code. What is unethical about my point? Technicians will respect any personal information and will not open files that do not have to do with the job they are required to do at the time. Examples is checking out information such as music, personal emails, personal files, which obviously is not a matter that could involve the security of others compared to child pornography. Section 1.7 of the ACM Code of Ethics talks about respecting the privacy of others. Computer and communication technology enables the collection and exchange of personal information on a really high scale in the history of civilization, as well as an increased potential for violating the privacy of individuals of groups. The key word in this code is the responsibility of professionals to maintain privacy and integrity of data, describing individuals. These include taking precautions to ensure the accuracy of data, as well as protecting it from unauthorized access or accidental disclosure to inappropriate individuals. Furthermore, procedures must be established to allow individuals to review the records and correct inaccuracies. This implies that only the necessary amount of personal information can be collected in a system, that retention and disposal periods for that information be clearly defined and enforced, and that personal information gathered for a specific purpose not to be used for other purposes without the consent of these individuals. These specific principles apply to all electronic communications, electronic email, for example, and prohibit procedures that captures or monitor electronic user data, including messages, without the permission of users, related to operations and maintenance. The nature or contents of the information must be shown only to proper authorities. I want to thank you all for listening to my presentation.